The house sat on the edge of a forgotten town, a weathered, two-story relic with chipped paint, creaking floors, and a sagging porch that whispered of better days. To most people, it was just an old army home, abandoned long after the base nearby shut down. But to Daniel Cole, a single-dad janitor with more bills than dreams, it was a chance to start over. He'd bought it cheap, cheaper than any sane man would have dared. The realtor said it had history. He didn't ask. History was just another word for pain. He'd had enough of that already. After losing his wife to cancer and struggling to raise his 9-year-old daughter Lily alone, Daniel wanted quiet. No ghosts, no noise, just a roof, a job, and peace. The house smelled like dust and memories. Still, Lily ran through the halls laughing, her voice bouncing off the walls. "Dad, look, there's stars on the ceiling," she called from the upstairs room. Daniel smiled faintly, watching her chase her imagination. "That's the attic, sweetheart. Careful up there." Days turned into weeks. Every morning, Daniel worked double shifts at the local high school, mopping floors, fixing lockers, and scrubbing graffiti from bathroom walls. Every night, he returned home to patch a wall, fix a window, or make instant noodles for dinner. Life was small but steady. Then came the night it began. It was late, close to midnight. Daniel was sitting by the fire with a cup of cheap coffee, reading one of Lily's bedtime stories to himself, when he heard a knock at the door. Slow, heavy, 3 times. He frowned, checked his watch. Who the hell knocks at midnight in a town like this? He opened the door halfway, and froze. Standing there were 3 women in military uniform. Their posture was crisp, their faces unreadable. One had captain's bars on her shoulder. Another wore a medic's insignia. The third, a tall woman with steel gray eyes, wore a uniform with no rank visible. "Mr. Daniel Cole?" the tall one asked. He nodded cautiously. "Yeah, what's this about?" "I'm Major Elena Ward. This is Captain Ross and Sergeant Hale. May we come in?" He hesitated. Something about them felt official, but not the normal kind of official. Still, he stepped aside. "Sure, but I don't have much to offer but instant coffee." The women exchanged faint smiles as they entered. Their eyes scanned the house, not nosy, but deliberate, as if they were looking for something specific. "We appreciate your hospitality," Major Ward said. "You recently purchased this property, correct?" Daniel nodded slowly. 3 weeks ago. Is there some kind of problem?" "Not exactly," she replied. "But this home, it used to belong to a classified training program, Project Recurve. It was a rehabilitation unit for veterans returning from deep cover operations." Daniel blinked. "So, I bought it through legal channels. All the paperwork's clean." "It's not about ownership," Captain Ross said gently. "It's about what might still be here." Before Daniel could respond, Lily's footsteps echoed from upstairs. "Dad, who's here?" The women exchanged quick glances. Major Ward's tone softened instantly. "You have a daughter." "Yeah," Daniel said, stepping protectively toward the stairs. "Lily, she's 9. Ward nodded. "She's safe. Don't worry. We just need to ask if either of you have noticed anything unusual since moving in. Sounds, lights, objects out of place." Daniel hesitated. He thought of the faint humming he'd heard from the basement, the flickering lights, and the one night Lily said she saw a glowing lady near her window. But he'd brushed it off. "No," he lied. "Nothing." The major's expression hardened. "Mr. Cole, please understand. This house was part of a covert neurological training experiment. Equipment was installed in the foundation, hardware that should have been dismantled years ago. If it wasn't, it could be dangerous." Now Daniel felt the first curl of unease. "Dangerous how?" Sergeant Hale stepped forward. "Let's just say it could mess with your perception. You might see things that aren't there, or things that are trying to reach you." Before Daniel could respond, the power flickered. The lights dimmed, then flared bright white. The walls vibrated, faintly humming with energy. The women drew their sidearms instantly. "It's still active," Ward hissed. "Dad," Lily screamed from upstairs. Daniel bolted up the stairs 2 at a time, heart hammering. "Lily," he burst into her room, only to find her standing at the window, staring into the darkness. A faint blue light pulsed in the forest beyond. The 3 soldiers rushed in behind him. Ward aimed a small scanner toward the window. Its display flickered with static and strange readings. Signal trace confirmed, she said. It's coming from the old comms array underground. What does that mean? Daniel demanded. It means, she said grimly, you've been living on top of something that was never meant to be found. Within minutes, they were in the basement. Daniel hadn't gone down there since moving in. It gave him a bad feeling. Now, with the soldiers, flashlights slicing through the darkness, he saw why. The floor had a metal hatch, half rusted shut. Beneath it, faint blue light glowed through the cracks. Major Ward crouched beside it. Sergeant, get the cutting tools. Daniel grabbed her arm. Wait, you can't just tear up my house. What's going on? Ward met his eyes, her voice low but urgent. Mr. Cole, 20 years ago, this place was used to test experimental memory link systems. Soldiers who'd lost comrades could interface with recorded neural echoes, fragments of thought and emotion. It was supposed to help them heal. But it didn't work as planned. Daniel swallowed hard. You mean there are people's memories in there? More like fragments of them, Ross said quietly. Echoes. Sometimes they reach out, especially to strong emotional signals. Daniel's mind flashed to Lily, her laughter, her dreams, her innocence. She said she saw someone, he whispered. Then it's reaching her, Ward said grimly. The hatch hissed open. Blue light flooded the room, wrapping the walls in eerie shimmer. Inside was a black box the size of a suitcase, pulsing like a heartbeat. Ward knelt beside it, typing into a handheld device. We're going to shut it down. But the moment her fingers touched the interface, the light surged, and a voice echoed through the room. Daniel. Everyone froze. The voice was soft, female, and achingly familiar. Daniel's heart stopped. Sarah, he breathed. His late wife's name. Lily's voice came from the stairs. Dad, Mommy's calling me. Lily, stay back, he shouted, his throat tight. Ward's voice cut through the chaos. It's reading your emotional profile. It's using your memories to manifest. The blue light coalesced into a faint silhouette of a woman, a shape Daniel knew better than his own reflection. Sarah's smile. Sarah's eyes. Danny, it whispered, you promised you'd take care of her. Daniel fell to his knees. I'm trying. Please, don't. The major grabbed his shoulder. It's not her. You have to reject it. It feeds on emotional resonance. The hologram flickered, distorted, then screamed, a sound like tearing metal, and burst into shards of light. Then silence. The hum stopped. The lights dimmed back to normal. Ward's hands trembled as she secured the device. It's done. The system's offline. Daniel was shaking, tears streaking down his face. What was that? Ross answered softly. A ghost in the machine. Your wife's memory, echoed. Through residual neural code. It's over now. Ward stood, looking at him not as a soldier, but as a human being. You and your daughter should stay with relatives for a few days. We'll finish cleanup here. But Daniel shook his head. No, this is our home. I won't let it scare her. Or me. Ward studied him for a long moment, then nodded. You're braver than most men I've served with. In the following days, the women returned with equipment trucks and technicians. They sealed the basement, removed the black box, and replaced the hatch with concrete. When they were done, Ward found Daniel sitting on the porch with Lily. She's strong, Ward said, watching Lily draw on the wooden steps with chalk. She gets it from her mother, Daniel replied softly. Ward smiled faintly. Your wife must have been extraordinary. She was, he said. She believed every place, no matter how broken, can become a home again. Ward looked around the quiet yard, the old trees, the sunset melting into gold. She was right. Before leaving, the three women stood in formation before him. Ward extended her hand. For what it's worth, Mr. Cole, thank you. You didn't just buy an old army home. You helped us finally close something that haunted a lot of people. He shook her hand firmly. Guess we both found peace, then. As their convoy disappeared down the dirt road, Daniel sat beside Lily. The house felt lighter, like something invisible had finally exhaled. Dad, Lily said sleepily, leaning on his shoulder. Do you think Mommy saw us today? Daniel looked toward the sky, where the last traces of sunlight shimmered through the trees. For a moment, He swore he saw a faint blue spark drift above the roof, then fade into the night. He smiled. Yeah, sweetheart, I think she did. The wind rustled the leaves, soft and steady. The house stood quiet now, not haunted, not empty, but alive again. A home rebuilt by love, guarded by ghosts, and changed forever by three women who came not to haunt, but to heal.